Yeah, it's your boy Danny J. Quick, and I'm here with Kyron Silva. And we want to thank you for joining the Four Tales podcast.
I want to know what it is Quick is trying to say.
We're about to talk some comics and get a little bit controversial. Everything from indie books to movie deal level commercial. With no rehearsals when we converse to coerce you. And then we do the quick takes and try to get to the person. So join us and get your comic book a few more sales once a week wherever you pod. It's Four Tales. Once a week wherever you pod. It's Four Tales.
I find it hilarious that our intro sounds so professional and so good. And then we come on and we're like, us.
Huh?
You know?
Like, hey, guys. It does sound good. It sounds a lot better than my actual rap was, but that's good production,
Yeah. All right, let's do this. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Taurus Comics in collaboration with Fourth Wall Productions respectfully brings to you the 147th episode of the Four Tales podcast. I am your host, Kyron Silva from Taurus Comics. Across the way is the reddish-blue romancer of Ace Blade, Danny J. Quick, and together we are your two award-winning blurred comic creators here to help you find your next favorite comic. Hey, did you bring me some canes? I guess I didn't get any canes. All right. We are live on the Age of Geekdom Network via Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, and TikTok. Kick, you're no longer part of this. So if you're listening or watching us live, thank you for your support.
Jesus.
But don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and review this podcast because all your positive reviews, interactions help us bring a bigger audience. My son just walked into the door. My oldest son, not the one that has a birthday today.
The working one.
Shout out to my littlest son with happy birthday to him. But my oldest came back with food and I didn't get any.
Yeah, so. The kids don't be thinking about us, man. The kids don't be thinking about us when they come home. My daughter does the same thing, but that's part of being a parent.
Yeah. So how you been, man?
I'm doing good, man. How you been? This has actually been a week of ups and downs, and I'm on an up right now. So, I'm good.
Do you want to talk about anything? Do you need a vent at all?
No, I'm a federal employee though. So,
all right. No. That's all you got to say. That's all you got to say. Let's see. Mr. Fish Comics is in the house. Let's go. HWP. What's going on?
Thank y'all for joining, man. Thank y'all.
Okay, you told me how to say this before. U1 Kicks? EW1.
EW1?
E1?
Ewan
Kicks?
Ewan.
All right. How you doing? William Withers, what's going on, sir? I hope next week goes better for you. I highly doubt it just because of everything that's happening, but I hope next week goes better for you, honestly. Anything you want to discuss about things that might be happening next week?
Oh yeah, we got a Kickstarter. Ace Blade number 9 is going to be on Kickstarter next week. Hey, we doing it. We doing it. I honestly don't know if I'm ready. I feel like I've done everything, but I don't feel like I've done everything. I know I've done everything, but I don't feel like I have. So the Ace Blade number 9 Kickstarter, you can get all 9 issues of Ace Blade. We are premiering the new logo for Ace Blade so people can stop saying what's C Blade at the comic conventions. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it big. So let's do it.
And what day is the Kickstarter launching?
It's gonna be launched. It's gonna be live on February the 5th. It's gonna be live on February the 5th. I'm probably gonna launch the 4th, though.
Okay. But now we're doing something though on the 4th, are we not?
Yes, we're gonna be doing a live stream at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that's probably when we'll actually go live. So yes. But enough about us.
All right.
Enough about us, unless you got something important.
I was just gonna say we had worked out something where you were gonna send me some sketch covers and I was gonna do them live as a giveaway, but you never did, so that's your fault. So
yeah, that was my fault. Yeah. The logistics got messed up. That's why I give all that responsibility to Morgan. But
all right. Like you said, enough about us.
Yes, enough about us. We got a special guest this week. Um, she is an amazing writer. Star Trek, My Little Pony, Spider-Man Unlimited, Avengers, Full Court Press, Moon Girl, Devil Dinosaur, Sesame Street, Absolute Power. There's an alien book in there too, right? And that was all just in 2024, I believe.
And apparently she's an X-Men because she's right next to Cerebro too. So
Sitting back there with Cerebro right now. Stephanie Williams, welcome to the podcast.
Hey, I'm happy to be here.
thank you for being on with us.
Yeah.
For anyone that isn't familiar with your work, I know Danny just gave us a long list of your accomplishments, but can you give us a very short, summary of all that and what you've done?
Yeah, yes, I will try my best.
Thank
I
you.
think a lot of folks probably know me for Living Heroes, which is Marvel Me's Living Single. That was a Kickstarter that I put together back in 2020 with Aaron O'Neill Jones. And then second to that will probably be Nubia for DC. So bringing her back to relevancy and giving her like an established place in the DC universe that does not rely on her proximity to Diana. And then I write all the time. So doesn't matter the genre, don't care. Sign me up and I'll write it. So that is why there are so many titles under my name.
Absolutely. Speaking of that, I'm gonna put you on the spot because I saw a post that you posted earlier.
Mhm.
You were excited about Career Day, and you
Mhm.
said you're gonna give them a 2-for-1 special, scientist to entertainment writer, because I'm
Yes.
doing more than just comics these days. What exactly did you mean by that?
I don't know. You know, other things other than comics that hopefully will see the light of day maybe sometime next year.
Now we are Team Spoiler, so if you want to drop something, it's
Yeah.
just the three of us right now. So you don't have to worry about the hundreds of.
No, no, because I apparently someone's been looking at my Threads account and then posting whatever I post there on Twitter. So now folks believe that I have a Vixen book coming,
Yeah.
which
You
is
do?
not yeah, sure. But also I didn't realize that whatever I say is taken like, Stephanie's
Serious.
doing that thing. And that's a huge compliment. But yes, please continue to put out positive vibes for this Vixen book. Because obviously it needs to happen.
Obviously.
No, I think
Or
that
you could write Ace Blade for Danny. That's
I
fine.
absolutely listen.
don't play around now. I don't know if we got the budget, but we can work something out.
Okay, I don't want
If he
to.
doesn't have the budget, you can write Ruby from Planet Oz for me. That's fine.
We can work something out.
We can definitely work that out.
But no, that's a huge compliment. I think people are really paying attention to the things that you put out, because you put out great work. I was reading recently. I know this is an older project of yours, but the milestone 30th anniversary. You did
Yeah.
Icon Forever, right?
Mhm.
And I just read that for the first time, literally this last week, and I was like, "Yo, this is what should happen in the milestone continuity. Like, this is absolutely what happened. What should happen? Icon takes over, or Rocket takes over the Icon mantle,
Mhm.
and this I was intrigued by her taking her son to college, and then she's Icon. She's got the new suit, and dealing with things in her daily life, man. And I was like, yo, in 4 or 5, it wasn't even a long story. It's 5 or 6 pages, and it was amazing. So, I think that is a huge compliment, because you do great work.
Thank you. I mean, that is really me trying to pare down a series, like a limited series that I had in mind for Rocket, where she's dealing with being an empty nester while also being a superhero. And because she had her son so young, just her, I don't know, exploring what adulthood looks like without him right there. I thought that could be pretty interesting. And then also, like, again, like her taking over for Icon and I don't know, having this bigger than life kind of event that she has to deal with while also having a kid in college. So I don't know. Hopefully somebody like an editor will read that, like Dennis Gowan or someone, and I can get that shot at writing some more Rocket.
I mean, I'm not going to drop names, but Dennis has watched our show once or twice, so I'm not going to say
Yeah.
anything.
Well,
And I know Uncle Joe Illich is doing some milestone stuff right
Yes,
now.
Yes.
So,
absolutely. Shadow Cabinet has been really good so far. I'm hoping that DC will continue to make the commitment to like put these books out, but not in a limited fashion.
yeah. That's awesome.
So what are we working on now? Like what's the future hold for Stephanie that you can tell us about?
Wow.
There's a book with some ravens or something. What's the
So yeah, I'll talk about that.
This seems so
So
complicated
that
of a
is
question. I didn't
a
think it was this complicated.
well, it is. It shouldn't be, but it is because I'm working on 4 different things right now that I want to yell at the top of my lungs about because they're
We
that
can
cool.
cancel the
But
stream.
I have
We
a
can
Star
cancel
Trek.
the stream, and you can just talk to us if you want to.
No, you cannot cancel.
I will
nothing.
tell you tomorrow
Okay.
at MiniCon. I will
Wait,
give you the
wait,
rundown.
excuse me, I'm not going to be at MiniCon tomorrow, so
I'll
can
tell
you
you
tell
later,
me?
Kyron. Don't worry about it. I'll tell
Yep.
you later.
All right. Okay.
He'll fill you in. But there is a Star Trek story that I have coming out. It's a one shot. I don't know when, but sometime this year. Very relevant for everything that's going on. I don't know. I'm a Black woman, so just like Octavia Butler, like predicting the future. So it's very
future,
timely.
present, it's history.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's that, and then the Raven Cycle or the Raven Boys, which is part of the Raven Cycle. That graphic novel will be out in August. That was like my first or my second major thing after Nubia. What an undertaking to like take a whole 400, 600 page book and then pare it down to
Yeah, I was going to
256.
ask you about that.
Yeah, that was insane.
Sorry. You gave us an image of that. Let me pull that up while you're go ahead and describe it for us while I'll pull that up.
Well, yeah, it was just a huge undertaking because it's not simply taking what you read and then just copying that down and making it into a graphic novel. Like you need to pick scenes that one makes sense for like just for someone to draw and for it to look interesting, but also like towing this line between wanting it to be fresh for new readers, but also not being so far off the source material that it's unrecognizable. Like adaptions are hard. And I mean, I feel like that should be common knowledge, but like, no, they're really hard. So was able to get that done. Sass, her art is amazing on it. And I am looking forward for folks, I don't know, to read it because this is a very white book. And and like full transparency is not something that I thought I would have gotten or just whatever, because like coming out of Nubia, I was really scared that I was just going to be the writer that was only writing Black women. Not that I would have had a problem with that, but that doesn't pay the bills all the time because Black women hardly ever have ongoing books, one shots, or any of that. So when I got this, I was like, okay, I think I'll be all right. I just won't get called up in February or on Juneteenth.
No, that's dope. I think like you said, the whole Raven Cycle, it's a trilogy, right?
No, it's 4 books.
It's 4 books. It's 4 books. Yeah, so I'm not even going to ask you if they're planning on doing the other ones because you started by saying the Raven Cycle instead of just saying the one book. So I'm assuming that we might see some more after that.
Yes, you will definitely see at least 2 books from me, and then there's a 3rd and a 4th. But I did those first 2.
Were you a fan of the Raven Cycle series before you got offered this, or
no? I didn't even know. Again, full transparency. Didn't even know it existed. I don't like YA. I don't like YA. Not in a like I just think it's beneath me or stupid or anything like that. Like the kids be on my nerves. So I cannot read YA like that. I like it now that I've worked on some YA titles. So now I have a different appreciation for it. But no, I had no idea. I was like, this Divergent, Hunger Games, where does this fall in it? But once I actually did finally get a chance to read, I was like, okay, this is something I can mess with this.
Okay.
I was gonna say like Living Heroes is not necessarily YA. Like they are young adult, but it's more adult than young adult.
Yes, absolutely, yes.
And then Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaurs like right there before Young Adult. So
Yeah.
thinking about it, that makes sense.
I thought you were leading into something with that. I'm sorry.
I just say whatever's on my mind. Leave me alone, Kyron. So talking about your the origins in you making comics or you coming into the comic game. I've heard you talk about it plenty of times. You used to play Storm on was it Marvel vs. Capcom? With your Storm character, and then leading into what was the show that you were watching that you equated to soap operas?
I think my grandmother. It was either The Young and the Restless or The Bold and the Beautiful. One of the two. Whatever. So probably Bold and Beautiful because I think that came on after Price is Right. Always, but on those days that I either didn't have school or like my grandmother kept me during the week, that's what I had heard. Like I can hear the piano keys like going off right now. But when I think what was it I read? Avengers 371 or 361, where it's Vision, Black Knight's in it, Cersei, and Crystal, and like there's kind of like this love triangle thing going on between Black Knight, Cersei, and Crystal. Vision's been reset, so he's in his all white, going on to the all white party, and he's trying to regain whatever emotions that he was able to, have when he was with Wanda. And he's like got this long tear coming down his face as he looks at Crystal and Black Knight just doing some serious PDA outside his window. But it was just so dramatic. And I think that's why I was just like, oh, this is like soap operas. They're just wearing tights.
Yeah. I think
that's the new tagline for comics. This is just like soap operas. We're just wearing tights.
Yeah, millions of copies will be sold.
People come back from the dead. People betray each other. Yeah, it really is. I like it. Yeah. One thing I really like about the stories that you write is that you'll put like little Easter eggs just for Black people in there. I don't know if that's a thing, but I see it in your work a lot. Yes. Like even with the Icon story. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but there's a event at the end, and I believe it was like Tony's place, maybe at Tony's place, and it was a writing thing, and I was like, that must be for Toni Morrison. It might not have been.
It was.
Yeah. So, but for me, I was like, okay, there's something that connects there. And then at the beginning, I think you named the university was Dwayne or McDuffie University. So, like just stuff like that, I really appreciate about your work because it's not something that takes away from the story or that will distract you from the story. But if you get it, you get it. It's that kind of thing, and I really like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because like I don't know, it's important to me to like do that because like a lot of Silver Age, Bronze Age, and even early 90s comics, I read a lot of that. And I would see like, other folks put their culture in a way like white culture is usually popular culture, or at least as billed as such. And that will pop up and they'll have bands and just different things that show up. And I'm like, okay, well, like, what about us? So just putting little things in. So even for Batman Brave and the Bold 16, I literally only wanted to write that story with Mal and Karen because I wanted Mal to sing Tony anniversary to her because it was their anniversary. That's literally all I wanted to do. Like that was the basis of that pitch. But I thought that was important because if someone read that, they would just think he was just singing some random song. But for everyone else, they would know exactly what that was. Even with something like Nubia, like she's on Themyscira, but that doesn't mean that she wouldn't wear a bonnet. Also, it doesn't mean that her and Philippus wouldn't be friends and they wouldn't still have some of those, I don't know, some of those traits that I see in Black women that I interact with every day. So like you said, it's about putting things in subtly, but not taking away from, because if I had Nubia talking about edges, like they don't know shit about edges and Themyscira, what?
Yeah, I agree. And it's tough to get my 9-year-old to wear her bonnet. I don't know what it is with Olivia. She'll put it on at night and then in the morning it's nowhere to be found. So.
Well, it gets hot. So I mean, I do also understand that.
And me wearing my bonnet, I be trying to keep mine on, but for some reason it got no texture. I don't know.
Mm-mm.
Go ahead,
Just keep
Kyra.
keep massaging it. Keep massaging it. It'll come out.
Right.
How important is it for you as a writer to depict like things like Black joy in your stories? Because usually, like you're mentioning, in the '70s and '80s, a lot of Black representation was just we come from the ghetto and we're just all sorrow and everything like that. But how important is for you to maybe change the narrative in your stories?
It is so important because a lot of that inspiration actually comes from Black romance writers. Women like Beverly Jenkins, who are writing historical fiction, which I stayed away from because I was like, I don't want to read about, like, all this extra stuff and then maybe Black people falling in love. But no, her stories focus on Black folks falling in love even during these times. And even though racism and all of these things are going on, it's not the center focus. Like whiteness is not the focus at all. And there's still joy there. Same thing with Brenda Jackson, Maureen Smith, Altonia Washington, all these women, Black romance writers, telling these stories where you have everyday folks. There is some drama going on, but it's nothing that is like, I don't know, like Riri Williams, where both her dad and her stepdad get shot, which
Mm.
is
Mm.
insane. But there's still joy there and there's still struggle, but the struggle looks different. The struggle isn't what we normally see in the media, or I don't want to say normally, but what we have seen in the media. When I think of like I don't know, Good Times, like that was just straight up everybody was having a bad day all the time. And we got that a lot in comics, especially during the 70s and 80s and hell, even the 90s.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We did have one comment from our Facebook page from Harold. He said, "How did it feel gaining the throne at the mascara?"
Scary.
Mm.
Because even though Nubia was a character that we hadn't really seen a lot of and hadn't seen her in a really long time, she still had a fan base. And that's because folks, thought that she was really dope in the couple appearances that she had, but people come up with their own headcanon. So, like, how do you compete with that? And then also the fact that a lot of folks really just knew her as the Black Wonder Woman or, this other version of Diana, and we didn't want to do that. So I knew that by breaking away from that, there was probably going to be some folks that didn't care for it, but at the very end of the day, I'm happy that kind of with the direction that we've gone, because she's still relevant now, years after this both miniseries have come out. And she was also in the multiverses, which they just canceled. So like they're in their last season or whatever. But I mean, that's pretty huge to go from being obscure to being in a video game.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can understand why it was canceled. That was not a good game. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's also fair.
It was a tough play, but it was cool seeing the characters.
Yeah.
They were trying to be Smash Bros, and nobody can be Smash Bros.
No.
I felt like they were trying to be Smash Bros with Fortnite a little bit. Like they're just
Yeah.
throwing random characters in there. It's like,
Yeah. I wanted to ask you about and maybe I should keep this for the quick takes, but no, I'm gonna ask. So there's a thing that makes me nervous as a writer.
Mhm.
And I don't know if this might not really be a characteristics of yours. It might just be seeing it from the outside, but you seem like a person who is one of those I'm gonna ask forgiveness instead of permission type of people.
Hell yeah.
When you were first doing Living Heroes, I think that was when I first ran into your work. And I know there was a lot of conversation online about, oh, yo, she's using
Mhm.
Marvel, using these characters without permission, and she's gonna get in trouble, And I was like, shoot, that's what I did. Like my first book was Ace Blade versus Deadpool. I didn't know that I was doing anything wrong at the time,
Yeah.
but I was just making something that I thought was cool. And but you were out there doing it. Like nobody knew I was doing it. You was like getting super retweets on Twitter and things like that. So what is your perspective on that? Like breaking down doors and kind of just doing what it is that you enjoy.
I mean, you gotta get creative, right? The worst that could happen is a no or possibly a cease and desist. But whatever it is that is going to, one, allow you to speak truly like to your voice, and then also get attention too. I knew that my X-Men memes were being shared in the Marvel Slack. So if you all are kikiing with, the stuff that I've written on Twitter and I'm using these characters, this is usually like, X-Men 97 or X-Men 92, still shots I was using or whatever, then, well, I might as well, right? So I just went ahead and did that, and I just said the worst that can happen is they would just say, "Hey, like, don't do that." But that's not what happened. They actually ended up reaching out, and it wasn't even because of Living Heroes. It was because of an article that I wrote. It was the best butts and Marvels from the 90s. It was like this silly listicle or whatever, which is what got their attention. But I'm pretty sure like Living Heroes, whatever I was doing with Parenthood Activate and those memes probably all contributed to it. But I mean, I'm not the only one that's done it. I've heard Mark Russell talk about this where he learned that the reason why Marie Javins had even reached out to him to write, I think it was Prez was a series, was not because of all of the novels that he had written before. It was this Count Chocula like I think like comic strip that he was writing, right? That's an IP. So like,
the serial Count Chocula, huh?
the serial Count Chocula. So, it's all you can do is try, right?
Yeah.
And everyone can tell you how to do the thing and they haven't done it. So like, just see what happens. Also, I figured like when I'm at conventions, I'm buying art all the time from artists who are like doing fan stuff, right?
Yeah.
And the big two and all of these companies know that further helps their bottom line. So I think it's a tricky game, but I think it's one if you play it to the best of your ability, then you're fine.
I do want to state the Four Tales podcast does not condone IP infringement in any way. So I just want to make sure we are not associated.
Yeah, we do. I do.
All right, you can take the lawsuit then.
I'll take it.
I mean, a lot of our audiences are independent comic creators like Danny and myself. Do you have advice for any of them that maybe aspire to work for Marvel DC outside of writing their own Living Heroes type thing?
So this advice is coming from me now being in this business for 4 years now and working with these companies. And I'm not going to sit here and say like it is not the end all be all. It isn't. I will say that the plus is the clout, right? Like your name being attached to this Marvel DC thing. But at the very end of the day, like you're helping someone else with their product. And it's not your product. So I would say like, continue to do your anything. And if they reach out, they reach out. If they don't, they don't. But if they don't reach out, that's not indicative of like your talent, what you can do or any of that. It's just that they have a quota. There's certain folks they like to work with. It's a thing where if you know somebody type of being in the right place at the right time. All of these things factor in. And I just hate sometimes that folks feel like, because they haven't worked with them, that they aren't comic creators or aren't all of these things. If anything, I felt more pressure because the majority of the work that I've done has been with IP stuff. I'm like, well, I hope folks know that I can like tell my own stories. So that's why like now the two other projects I'm working on are my creator-owned series because I'm like, I want to show like I can play in someone else's sandbox, but look what happens when I'm in my own. Yes.
Yeah, that's I don't know, Daniel Warren Johnson, like he was doing, Transformers and all this other stuff. But the stuff that I love of his the most is, The Moon Is Following Us, that his indie stuff. So I'm excited to see whatever you do this year. Now, before we get the quick takes, I saw a video of you powerlifting at a was that at a comic book?
Yeah, it was at MomoCon.
Wow, like first of all, I didn't know that you was into fitness and stuff.
Why would you not send me this video so I could bring it up so our audience can see it too?
I told you I'm rusty, Kyron. Sorry. I'm sorry. But
tell us about your
fitness regime. Like, what do you do to stay in shape? Because I know writing, isn't necessarily the most active of
Mhm.
professions. So it's good to stay in the gym. So what do you do to stay in shape?
So I finally broke down and bought one of those walking pads.
Mhm.
But I did not buy the raising desk. So I usually just if it's not nice outside, then I'll walk on that in the morning, like every morning. And then I usually hit the gym 3 or 4 days out of the week if I can. But I just really love lifting. It's um it actually does help with writing in a way because in the same way that I tell myself 1 or 2 more reps when I'm writing, I'm just like, okay, girl, just like one more page, one more scene, and just kind of like using that mental toughness and putting it towards other things. Also, it's just nice to get out some aggression instead of cussing people out online.
Okay.
Somebody's saying something crazy
Now I
to me.
understand.
There you go.
Now
Now,
I get
I can throw a
it.
little something
That
around.
makes sense.
Like I might write the Amazons, but don't talk to me crazy because
You might meet the Amazon.
right. Because you can meet one too. But no, I don't know. I love it. And like you said, writing is not an activity that's very, you're not moving a lot. And I worked in a hospital for 7 years and all I did was walk if I wasn't like waiting on an experiment or something like that. So it's just important to just stay going. Also, like, I don't know, those endorphins, they kind of help sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. All right, Kyron. It's time. It's time for quick takes. I'm ready if you are.
All right. What the heck?
See, you rusty too. You rusty too, and it's okay.
No, I'm not Rusty. My name is Kyron. It's not Rusty. What's wrong? You don't know my
Okay.
name no more?
If you've never seen the show before, quick fire
I was
Q&A
trying to do
session
something different. Sorry.
where we grill our guests on their deepest, darkest secrets from the internet. Or we could just ask you a couple questions to get to know you better. What's up, Jay?
Hey,
Um,
Jay.
so we're gonna ask you
If
5
you
questions.
think this is Stephanie Williams, you're correct. If you think somebody else, you're completely wrong.
You think it's that? We're gonna ask you 5 questions, and you're gonna have 45 seconds each to answer them off the top of your head. Starting with question number 1. So I saw another post that you made describing a Land Rover, I think it was, as an elegant bus. Um, um, I believe you said you wanted to cross it off your list. Like it was a car that you wanted. So if that one's off your list, what is the new car that you placed in your list?
The new car, I just seen it when I was near Trader Joe's. It is a Lamborghini SUV. I don't know. Now I don't know. I don't know if I'm ever gonna see that, but that is like my dream car because who would looked immaculate.
Oh, I got
Oh,
one of those. Yeah.
I'm sure you do, Kyron. I'm sure you do. Hey, y'all go buy the Ravens boys. Y'all go pre-order
like 100
Ravens
of them.
boys right now.
No, I'm gonna have to break into like TV and like become the Shonda Rhimes of comics or something in order to get something like that.
We're gonna make it happen. I like that. That's a good
It was so nice. I mean, the white lady that was driving, I said, "Ma'am, I see you."
Can I get a ride?
Right?
I'm just going up the street. Let me hop in. Okay. Question number 2. We talked earlier about your special Easter eggs for Black people. Are there any little things that you've put in the comics that people have missed over your years of writing that you might want to shout out?
Yeah, so one of the biggest ones is the character Bia in Nubia and the Amazons. A lot of folks thought I named her after like a Greek goddess or a Titan. No, it was from the Little John and the East Side Boys song.
Not
Bia.
Bia,
Like
Bia.
that
Like
is
a
literally yes. That's the one. And like whenever I'm on panels and stuff, people think it's like this real deep thing. And I'm like, no, baby, it's because that song popped up. And I said, you know what? Yes.
That's
Oh
gonna be our
my
highlight for the week. That's our highlight for the week for sure.
Hey, that's amazing. And what's crazy is on the other show I do top five. Somebody just put that song in their top five verses. I think it was who was it? Little John? No, it was Ludacris is on it. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so that's hilarious. That's hilarious.
That's awesome.
We're gonna let them keep thinking it's the Greek gods though. We're gonna let them keep thinking. All right, question number 3, and this is a question that we ask a lot of creators. I know you've done a lot of shows. Like I said, we're about to do Charlotte Minicon tomorrow. In your experience, or what is your preference? Do you prefer big cons or small shows, and why?
I prefer whatever con has the nicest hotel.
Mm.
Because I'm going back to the Cleveland show, which wasn't like a great show sales wise, but that hotel was
Mm.
nice. So that's why I am going back, and also to see the lovely people of Cleveland. But that hotel was nice. So that is where I am currently. If it's a nice hotel, I don't care if it's in the middle of nowhere. I'm there. Cause I mean, I'm a mom and a wife. I don't get a lot of time to just be, in the quiet. So I really do like me being going off to conventions if my husband and son don't go with me. That's my quiet time.
Yeah.
Hey, Cleveland, if you want to fly Danny and I out to maybe do a
I
panel of some sort,
need to see this place now.
I've never been to Cleveland or Ohio. So.
Hey, the goat is out there. LeBron James and them. They got a
Mhm.
museum and all kinds of stuff.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the GOAT. I thought you were going to say Michael Watson.
Oh yeah, Michael Watson's out there too. But yeah. Okay. Question number 4. And this is a question kind of follow up to what we were talking about earlier. But I've seen you put out cryptic tweets in threads saying you had an idea, like we were just talking about the Vixen. Now you got rumors about doing Vixen. But I've also seen that you've pitched ideas to people and got picked up. That's one thing that I am a writer is scared of, and I know a lot of indie creators, like we have these ideas that we want to pitch to people, but we're scared. So what advice would you give to somebody to pitch their ideas without fear?
Again, like the worst thing someone can say is no or not say anything at all. I've been left on red by editors that I've worked with before. But like I don't know, like to me it's the best to get it out and just see rather to fail than to not try at all. So you just gotta do it. There's something I'm working on right now with DC Comics that I ended up pitching out of spite and I did not think that it was going to get any traction. I actually was kind of joking when I did, and next thing I knew, the editor that I talked to about it when I was in Chicago, they were like, actually I think this will work. So I mean, all you can do is try.
And what was that project again? I couldn't hear you say it.
It's for DC Comics as much as I will say.
Okay. We're gonna get some secrets out you. We're gonna get some. Okay. Question number 5. So I do another show called Top 5 Live where we do a top 5 list every week about something random. And I couldn't quite figure out what I wanted to get you to do a top 5 list of. So I'm gonna let you choose. Okay.
Okay.
So your 3 choices are top 5 black shows, top 5 video games, or top 5 Pokemon.
Let's do shows. Pokemon we could do, but I'm like trying to quit this Pokemon card game that's gonna boot me up.
If Charizard is not your number 1 for that, it's over anyway. So.
Right.
All
okay.
Right, top 5 black shows then. Let's see.
All right, Living Single, Martin. I was just Girlfriends, The Parkers, and I need one more. And I think I'm gonna go off. Hanging with Mr. Cooper.
Oh man, underrated show.
No, I would have sworn that Fresh Prince or Sister would have made the list.
One of the two.
So Sister. Oh hell no. Moesha and Sister would but the Parkers they're always gonna get because Constance Vaughn is just in Monique funny as hell.
Great. Okay,
That's
I
like all
appreciate you.
90s CW UPN shows right there.
Yes, because I was even gonna say the Wayans brothers too. So
There
I
you
mean,
go.
I could just go
Yeah.
on the Jamie Foxx show. Some
Mhm.
seasons, not all of them, but yeah,
Jamie Foxx had a
That's
good run.
good.
yeah. Hmm.
That's one of my favorite shows, man. The Jamie Foxx show. Um,
Yeah.
I appreciate you doing that for us. Quick Takes has been brought to you by Gemini Comic Supply. If you go to Gemini Comic Supply, you will get and use the promo code AcePlay, you'll get 10% off your order. We appreciate you, Stephanie. That was dope, man. It's always good to talk to you.
Yeah, of course. All right, I will give hints to the two creator-owned things that I'm doing. So one of them, if you are a fan of the movie Annihilation and Harlem Nights,
I just watched Annihilation again last night, actually.
so Annihilation and
Okay.
Harlem Nights
All
found a
right.
way to bring
Nice.
That's an
bring
interesting
those.
combination.
Yes. So that's one, and the other one is if Roland Emmerich actually did a disaster film where he had a black family in it, and he redid Time Cop. That's the
Ooh.
that's the other one.
John Carl Van Damme Time
What?
Cop.
Yes.
I literally just
Any other
watched
time
that a couple weeks ago.
80s and 90s action movies is like catnip to me.
Hey, I'm
All the problematic white men, and also throw in Wesley Snipes.
and Wesley Snipes.
That's
you know?
awesome.
And Wesley Snipes. But yes, I mean, listen, it's old, so that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, I'm looking out for both of those. No matter how they come out.
Well, the announcement for one, I think, might be in the coming weeks,
Okay.
because I'm going to the Comics Pro conference. Just found that out.
So
Nice.
is Marvin Wynn's going to there too.
Marvin Wynn will be there.
Uh-huh,
Yes.
Yeah. So I will let y'all know. And then the other IP thing, if you are a 90s kid and you love Saturday morning cartoons, I'll leave it at that.
Well, that's like a wide spectrum of things, though. Come on.
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
You doing Animaniacs? Wait a minute. Okay, nah, I'm not.
And I think it'll be my first ongoing, which is hilarious because whenever this news comes out, it's gonna be like, damn, they really let her ass write that, huh?
Hey, I'm down with it. I'm down with it.
I don't
Hey,
know
I'm
why.
looking forward to that.
I'm imagining Recess for some reason. I don't know why. Damn it.
I did love Recess now.
Okay.
All right,
Daryl Murphy.
We're gonna make it happen.
Yeah.
Daryl Murphy's in the chat. He said he might see you guys tomorrow at MiniCon. Oh, both of you guys
Yay.
are going to be at
Daryl,
MiniCon tomorrow.
Hey.
Cool.
All right.
Yeah.
J Hero says, Steph, you are a fuck. Sorry. I
Oh.
can't say it. It's my kids here. You're an effing force. Excited to continue to support you and your journey. Always have your back. Let me see if I missed
Thank
it.
you, Jay. Finish that book. I want to read Star Wilder.
Yeah, Star Wilder. We need that.
All right, Steph. This has been a great time. We appreciate you coming on. We want to make sure our listeners follows you and follows your journey again. So where's the best spots on the interwebs to do that?
So it's going to be at Steph_I_Will, and that is on IG, Threads, TikTok, and then Blue Sky, Stephanie Williams, whatever the Blue Sky thingy is. And I have a newsletter that will be starting, I believe, at the end of this month or the 1st of March. You don't want to miss that one because I will be giving secrets away. I'll even do a little industry gossip because comics it is a place.
Blue Sky really needs to change how they do their
do.
ads because that's the only thing that's stopping them from really blowing up.
Mhm.
It's just too complicated.
Because I'm not writing all that.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Danny, where can people check you out?
The best place to find me is our website, fourthwallpros.com. And if you want to find me on social media, it's at the AcePlay on all social media platforms. Steph, I got something for you tomorrow. I got some books for you tomorrow. Do not let me leave tomorrow without giving them. Kyron,
I will not make no promises, but yes, I'm gonna sneak out.
definitely getting out of there, right? But Kyron, where can people find you, sir?
You can find me at tauruscomics.com on my all social media platforms at Taurus Comics. But I need to highlight this real quick. Daryl in the chat here said my flight got canceled, so I'm still in New York or in North Carolina. I'm working on a book right now that I will talk to you all about. Kanye West is behind this one. That's all I can say at the moment. So Dale Murphy just doing big things.
Okay.
Harold be getting it in, man.
Seriously.
Shout out to Dale Murphy, working hard, man.
All right.
Down in
But yeah,
Vegas.
you can catch me all social media platforms at Taurus Comics. And if this is your first time checking out the Four Tales podcast, you can go to our website. That is the fourtalespodcast.com, the number 4, TALES podcast.com. Please join us next. Well, actually, let me stop. Join us Tuesday, the 4th of February. We're going to do Danny's Ace Blade live giveaway. He's already hinted that we might launch early because, you know, Danny's impulsive like that. He might.
Be
You know.
trying.
But after that, join us next week, the 7th of February. We're going to have Fish Lee on the show talking about Green Zone issue 4.
Yes.
But until then, everybody, sayonara, goodbye, and please take care of yourselves.
I want to know what it is Quick is trying to say.
Thank you.